Hi there folks, welcome back to Rich Reviews. So the latest TV show that I want to review for you guys here now is a 4-part series that premiered over on the BBC in October and will make its way on to Masterpiece in November. This is called Roadkill. This is created by David Hare and it's directed by some guy I never heard of. And this stars Hugh Laurie, and Hugh Laurie, amazingly enough, started out as a comedic actor such as Blackadder and a couple other shows I never heard of. And then he began to build up his dramatic resume, particularly with House, because we all seem to love House. Then he starred in The Night Manager as a British arms dealer. Now he's back again playing something that is considerably worse, a conservative party minister. He plays Peter Laurence, a so-called man of the people who we see early on win a libel case against a newspaper. Chief witness against him sort of changed her story. And now, here's the thing, I kind of sort of follow British politics. I'm not going to claim I'm all knowledgeable in this, but clearly this exists in a world where there is no COVID, there is no Brexit, and Peter Laurence is sort of a cross between Boris Johnson, Nigel Farage, Michael Gove, and Dominic Cummings. Basically, he enjoys breaking the rules. And the libel suit was for him accused of doing some financial dealings. And the British paper that lost was like, they tried to fire the girl who changed her story. That girl happens to go into an AA meeting and meets one of Peter Laurence's lawyers. That, of course, makes her determined even more to bring Peter Laurence down. Now, Peter Laurence is on a euphoric high. People that clearly think less of his skills. Now, he's currently transport minister, and he personally believes that, oh yes, I'm due for either Chancellor of the Exchequer, Foreign or Home Secretary, or some other previous position that I don't know that could be considered high. Obviously, the British Prime Minister, played by Helen McCrory, is not exactly high on him. He's married, obviously, but they sort of live separate lives. He has 2 daughters that one sort of ran away, and the other happens to be something of a basket case. He has a mistress who is sort of ready to move on from him to a certain degree. And then he comes to realize, oh yeah, I have a daughter that I was previously unaware of who's in prison. Now, all the while, the journalist that got sacked begins to explore another legal avenue to try to bring Peter Laurence down, and it happens to be through a shady British think tank group. Peter Laurence gives speeches, and of course, then we also deal with another lawyer. My client may not necessarily be all that squeaky clean, and the British Prime Minister is just sort of beside herself as her popularity begins to plummet. And now, again, I don't know how exactly British politics works. I know that sometimes there are leadership contests, and once you begin to run your course as Prime Minister, you become less and less popular. You face internal revolts. Here's the thing, Hugh Laurie is just great as his character. Of course, it's pretty obvious who the daughter is here, and also we get other interesting actors. Katie Lewing from that one Harry Potter film or 2 shows up as, I think, the girlfriend who has stuff on Peter Laurence, who is, I guess, the girlfriend of his driver. And now, I don't know how important transport minister is. I know he gets promoted to justice minister. Prison is no place to be for women, I guess. Obviously, it wants to shake things up when it comes to management of prisons, and obviously at one point he's like, yeah, I would like to definitely not necessarily free all these prisoners, but like managing style of how parolees are handled. And obviously he meets resistance from his sort of second in command who runs the justice place. His family, his one daughter is just sort of like, everyone is sick of your bullshit, and she's just sort of like, she thinks of herself as really the one lone sane person in the asylum. The other daughter is just sort of like, I walked away from all of this. It's like, I want to live my life, and he's just sort of like, okay, all he can do really is move forward. And at least at one point, someone from this British think tank that clearly, yes, is somewhat shady, says to him the number one rule of all British politicians is they expect to become prime minister. Now, I don't know about that. Certainly there are some ambitious people that want to climb up the rung. There's a second season. It would be interesting to see where the story goes. In the end, obviously, Peter Laurence does achieve something, although it does come at a cost, though. Roadkill, have you seen this? What you think? Please put everything in the comment box below here, folks. As always, folks, like, comment, subscribe, brush yourself up knowledge. I'm at Michael Rich at Rich Reviews 2 on Twitter. I'll see you next time, folks. Yes, hooray.